Let's make sure things are nice and level. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is BoogieSnacks. You could go ahead and call me Boogie, and welcome to part one of a two-part video series. Now, in part one of today's video, what we're going to do is focus on the display case behind me because this will be the final setup for it before I take everything down. Then moving on in part two, which I'm still filming currently, you will see not only my new manga collection with new shelves, new lights, and a few other surprises, we are also going to do a full room tour in the main room here, which I film in, so it'd be sort of like an anime room tour slash content room. Now, I'm still filming that video, so if you don't want to miss it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss that video when it goes live. Now, before we go ahead and jump on into today's video, I want to ask you at home, when did you guys start collecting manga? I think it'll be really interesting to see how long some of us have or how short of a time we've been collectors down below in the comment section. This video is going to be a ride for me. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you in just a second. Where we're gonna start things off, we're gonna start at the top and work our way down, and then we'll cover the box sets that I have that you guys sometimes see in the videos. Okay, let's kick things off with one of my all-time favorite series, and if you haven't heard of it, please take this video as a sign to check it out. But let's talk about Blade of the Immortal for just a second. Let's talk about the beautiful storytelling, the beautiful art, and the epic journey that Manji goes on in Blade of the Immortal. Such a refreshing take, and I can only imagine when it first came out, on a samurai adventure seinen story that has some sci-fi elements to it. And if you're looking for a classic series that the art is phenomenal, and to be honest, the story still holds up to this day, look no further than Blade of the Immortal, okay? It has everything that I was currently looking for in a series, all the way from mystery to action to romance to phenomenal character developments to plot twists you just don't see coming to getting attached to characters you would have never thought you'd be attached to just phenomenal writing in general. Now, I honestly get a question in the comments in some of my videos where someone inevitably asks, Boogie, what's that smaller volume next to Blade of the Immortal? So today, let's talk about it. The volume right here is actually one of my prized manga volumes in my collection, which is why it's at the very top of my display case, because I'm proudly displaying it. This right here is actually the second volume of the spin-off series for GTO, or Great Teacher Onizuka. This is Great Teacher Onizuka 14 Days in Shonen volume number 2. It's one of those series that just really hit me and I resonated with it, and I knew that eventually one day I would collect it, but it's very hard to collect and can get very expensive. So because of that, I actually only have one volume of one of the spin-off series of Great Teacher Onizuka, but I'm very happy to have it, and I'm also very happy that it's literally in perfect condition. There's not a ding on this one. Come on, we're gonna go over to the top here. Now this one I don't think needs any introduction on my channel, but I have here 11 volumes of Vinland Saga, and then I do have a straggler, which is another reason why I want to change my manga collection here and how I display everything, because I just ran out of room. I have so much manga compared to when I built this. I just definitely need bigger shelves. I need a bigger setup, and the volume 12 here is a huge indicator of that. Vinland Saga, need I say any more? If you haven't at least checked out the anime, please do yourself a favor. But hey, Vikings, ships, lore, historical references, romance, epic battles, mysterious things that are happening in the background, and political developments. Everything that I'm looking for in a series, Vinland Saga pretty much has, and just nails it right to the T. I'm kind of sad to see this collection go. This collection has become like part of my life. You guys know what I mean? Like, we have an attachment to our manga collections and our setups. I don't know if you're like me. Let me know if I'm weird down below in the comment section, or if we're the same kind of weird, but sometimes I'll just sit and like stare at my manga collection. I can't be the only one that does that. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the middle row here, and we're gonna start things off with one of my new favorite series that I'm absolutely obsessed about. We're gonna talk about Dorohedoro for just a second. Now, if you've never heard of Dorohedoro, I will describe it very briefly by it being one of those sci-fi dystopian mystery action thriller series, and that genre, that niche of a genre, I'm absolutely falling in love with. I am darn close to collecting all of the series, and I'm very happy about that. Okay, so we've talked about one mystery series so far, and let's talk about the next one, which will be Monster. So come on over and check this one out. Okay, Monster. This is volume 1 right here. Naoki Urasawa. Awesome right off the bat. We already know the mangaka is a really cool person. In fact, if you're not following Naoki Urasawa on Twitter, do yourself a favor. The guy, put his series aside, put his awesome writing aside. The dude just seems like a guy I would love to grab a cup of coffee with and just have a chat with. A lot of the manga community already know this classic, and a lot of us either own it or are trying to get it currently, and I understand that this is very difficult to track down. I feel like you're gonna hear me say that a lot this video. There are 9 volumes in Monster in its entirety, so if you're looking for Monster and you don't know which one is the final volume, 9 would be the final volume. Okay, so it's actually not that big of a series to collect. Nonetheless, I highly recommend the manga if you can track them down. It's time. We're gonna talk about this series that I'm collecting the singles for. I've gone over at least 50 times on this channel why I'm not getting the deluxe editions that are beautiful. I know they're beautiful, but I like the singles. But we're talking about my journey collecting Berserk for just a second. Berserk has been probably, if I had to run the numbers on my channel, probably the most recommended series for me to read of all time since my first video. The problem is that I need more room to display all of them, plus all of the other manga that I want to display, which is another reason why we're upgrading, and I can't wait to show you what we're building. But I currently have quite a few volumes. There are definitely some gaps here with Berserk, but I will collect all of them and I will keep you guys informed with the progress, whether it be on Twitter or in manga, manga hauls and those types of videos. Okay, we're quickly going to talk about a series that I just started collecting and is quickly turning into one of my all-time favorite series that it saddens me that this never got fully released in English. It stopped at a certain point, but we're not here to talk about that today. Let's talk about my journey and my love for Gintama. I haven't laughed that much while watching an anime in a very long time, but it also has a solid story and I quickly got attached to the characters, enough so to where I wanted to collect the manga and physically read the series. And like I mentioned before, my heart sank when I was trying to collect the series and you're doing your Googling and you guys were telling me on stream or in the comments for my hauls that these never got fully released in English for whatever reason. I don't think the sales were really there at the time, but it's such a good series. Now, if you've never heard of Yakuza Japan, you've probably heard of Food Wars. So I like to describe Yakuza Japan as the early 2000s version of Food Wars, sort of the Food Wars before Food Wars. Now, there are subtle differences between Yakuza Japan and Food Wars. I will admit that this story follows a young protagonist that is a baker, not really a chef. But there is some heavy similarities, and if you were to start reading Yakuza Japan, if you've already watched the anime or read Food Wars, you would instantaneously see them. I have volumes 2, 3, 4, and 18, so let me know over on Twitter if you find any, but I'm almost teetering between wanting to find just the rest of them online or trying to find all of them in stores. For whatever reason, I just love hunting down manga and finding them in stores. I don't know, maybe that's me being weird, I don't know, but you can find this still pretty easily, even though it is an older series, in stores every once in a while. So I do think that it might be possible. Okay, so we've gone over Gintama, Yakuza Japan, and we're gonna go over yet another old school series that I'm proudly displaying on my shelf, which I don't know if a lot of you are aware, but one of my favorite series of all time, and I do wanna collect the manga, although I know it's going to be expensive. I feel like this is going to be the eventual expensive stuff that I'm collecting. This is Initial D. I don't know if a lot of you are aware that I actually really like this series. Look at this. It's my one and only volume of Initial D, and I'm currently hunting the rest of them. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it in one foul swoop and just, buy it all at once, or I don't know. And that's part of the fun about collecting manga, like I've mentioned before, and hunting down these rare series. But yeah, Initial D, Tokyo Pop. This is a random volume 24 that I found in a store for a phenomenal price. It's actually a really great story. Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, Boogie, what the heck is Initial D? It's a racing series. It's very old school. It's actually a classic. A lot of you probably have watched this back in the day growing up. Let me know if you were one of those people, but Initial D, fond memories of this series, fell in love with the anime. I wanted to collect it, realized how difficult it was to collect. I will keep you guys updated, and we're gonna talk about this a lot more in a few other of these series in a video I have coming up when we're gonna be talking about goals and rare manga that I'm collecting collecting like I mentioned before, but for now, initial D. Look at the art on this, absolutely phenomenal, and at least watch the anime if you've never been introduced to this classic racing series in the otaku community. And let's get into the cozy manga section of the video now. We're gonna kick things off with cozy vibes here for Laid Back Camp. I've read a lot of Laid Back Camp digitally, and I knew at a certain point, and then there's no spoilers here, that I wanted to collect this physically. If you're anything like me, I'm a huge sucker for a cozy slice of life series. The story follows these young women who are becoming friends, making connections in life, learning lessons, all while under the umbrella here of camping and the Japanese hiking and camping scene. Laid Back Camp. Check it out. Okay, continuing on this cozy train, let's talk about Days on Fez for just a second. Now, before we dive into the plot, Days on Fez actually is going to complete in 5 volumes. Now, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. And currently right now, volume 4 just got released. In fact, I think it was in my last manga haul, so check that one out whenever you have the time. On Fez, like I mentioned before, a lot of parallels between Laid Back Camp in regards to the camping scene and some of the camping things that are depicted in this story. I think one could read it and definitely see those parallels, but this doesn't focus necessarily on camping, but it focuses on a group of friends, music, the Japanese music and festival scene, and the coming of age and finding out about the music scene. I think it's absolutely phenomenally well done. And if you've been watching my content for a while, you would know that music was a huge part of my life. So to see a series, especially a cozy slice of life series like this, be about the Japanese music scene, concerts, music festivals, and things like that, and everything that go into that, and camping out and making friends, and you know, the vendors and the food stalls and just the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Sign me up. Where do I sign for this series? I'm totally down, and to be honest, I wish I saw this series in more collections, okay? So if that at all interests you, go ahead and check out Days on Fez. Okay, let's quickly move on over here. This is the single volume of Kaiju number 8 that was actually gifted to me by my little brother. What a great gift, right? Absolutely great gift. Sci-fi, action, look no further, currently coming out, has a lot of buzz. You can read it on the Viz app, you can collect it physically. Definitely check out Kaiju number 8. I think this series is going to grow into something quite popular if it keeps up the vibe that it had for volume 1. In fact, let me know your thoughts and opinions on if you've even checked out Kaiju number 8, or if you have, what were your thoughts on it down below in the comment section, okay? Now, here on the left-hand side, I have 2 volumes of the Re:Zero light novel. As you can see here, this is definitely not manga, but this is definitely a series that I very much enjoy. Now is the time in the video where we're gonna quickly go over, because I've gone over this a lot on my channel, because it is the series that started it all for me. This is the series that got me into manga collecting. Yes, we're gonna talk about Tokyo Ghoul. To be honest, Tokyo Ghoul, every time I bring this up, a lot of people in the comment sections are always like, dude, that series got me into manga as well, or manga and anime. This is a gateway series into the community, into otaku culture, into manga collecting, into manga reading, into more anime than I initially thought. So let's do a little poll down below. Let me know if Tokyo Ghoul was your gateway series. Let me know. Honestly, I think that there's more of us than a lot of us would think, okay? So let me know down below in the comment sections, but Tokyo Ghoul, there's a lot if you want to dig deeper with Tokyo Ghoul, and I highly encourage you guys to read it. Okay, so we're gonna go down memory lane here with another series that can be difficult to collect. It will be in the video that I mentioned several times in this video coming out about rare manga I'm trying to collect, but let's talk about Yu Hakusho for just a second. This series right here, Yu Hakusho, I'm such a fan, to be frank, just with the story, the characters, the world. Oh gosh, I just love everything about this series. Now, I know a lot of us might say that it falls off at a certain point. I haven't read that. I've watched all of the anime, so I'm gonna make my final judgment after reading all of the manga. But to be honest, Togashi, I'm a huge fan of either Yu Hakusho or Hunter x Hunter. So I'm there for the ride. I want to support the author. I want to collect all of it, whether it be all of Yu Hakusho and all of Hunter x Hunter eventually. This is just something that I remember seeing as a kid. I remember seeing him on the bookshelves of those bookstores where we would sit on the floor and read a chapter or 2 of Yu Hakusho. And I think there was even like a Game Boy Advanced game back in the day that I have some memory of. I don't know if I owned it or if I borrowed it. I don't even know. I don't even know, but this is just memory unlocks. With every volume I collect, it's like a new memory that is unlocked for me of my childhood, and to be frank, I'm all about that. So the next series here is Chainsaw Man. Now, Chainsaw Man, there's a story here behind this. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on Chainsaw Man because I have a big video coming out on Chainsaw Man and me reading Chainsaw Man and my thoughts and opinions on this series. This is going to be huge. In my opinion, I think Chainsaw Man is going to be huge when the anime comes out. Let me know what you think of that down below. I know a lot of us have some very hot takes on Chainsaw Man. Let me know those down below in the comment sections, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. I think it's such a huge series. Most of us recognize the title by now and you know what Chainsaw Man is, and I have a video coming out on this one. But I have everything out physically currently right now, so volumes 1 to 9, and I have 10 pre-ordered, so it'll be at my house when it is released, I believe early next month at the time of recording this. So we've talked about my love for Dorohedoro, but the mangaka is releasing a new series which is called Dai Dark. The parallels between this story and Dorohedoro in terms of the art style, obviously because of the mangaka, but overall, I highly recommend this one if you're looking for very much that dystopian sci-fi vibe. If you're looking for a new series in that genre like myself, look no further than Dai Dark. This series was for me, pretty much. It has to do with jazz, music, and that was my life for quite a while here. I'm a huge fan of jazz, love playing jazz, love listening to jazz, and this series here is called Blue Giant, and this is very, very good. I recommend this series if you're into music or slice of life series. Please check out Blue Giant. Zom 100. Now, Zom 100, I've talked about this ad nauseum on my channel. It's making a lot of buzz right now in the manga community. If you're looking for a zombie series that has some comedic elements and a refreshing take on a zombie series in general, I highly recommend Zom 100. First one up here down to the bottom is Steins Gate. This was a Barnes & Noble exclusive, I believe, put out by Udon Entertainment. It's a hardcover. This is complete. This is the original Steins Gate story, not Steins Gate Zero, but the original Steins Gate story here in its entirety in one solid hardcover edition. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of Steins Gate. If you like sci-fi, mystery, time traveling, romance, tragedy, it's a thrill to read. It's gonna keep you on your toes the entire time, whether you're watching the anime or you're gonna read the manga. Next, we have a slice of life here. This is Yotsuba. I have been told to check out this series over and over and over again because I'm a huge fan of slice of life series. So if you're like me, you're looking for a new slice of life, something very wholesome to read, maybe on a nice, weekend afternoon with a cup of coffee, iced coffee, hot coffee, or tea, whatever you guys are drinking out there, I highly recommend Yotsuba. Okay, this is volume 1, and I will let you know once I've read a few volumes of this series my initial thoughts and feelings of it, but for now I can only just recommend it, okay? I also have some volumes of Hell's Paradise here. This series is going to blow up when the anime comes out, and I've gone over this before. It's already a big series, but I think the anime is really gonna boost up these numbers here that we're seeing in the fan base for Hell's Paradise. Okay, so I do have a volume of Blue Period here. Now, as someone who went to art school, it hits a little close to home. I don't know if I'm gonna continue reading Blue Period, but this is a really well done series. And to be frank, I'm probably gonna read the rest of it, but at least at the time now, from judging by the first volume, I feel like there's other things that I want to read for right now, but I can appreciate the work and I can appreciate the story of Blue Period. I know a lot of us are really digging this series right now. For now, volume 1 in my collection. I'll probably read more down the road, but I'm happy with owning just volume 1 currently. Next is by the creator of Gantz. We all know Gantz. Gantz is a phenomenal series. You will see it in my manga collection video that's coming out shortly. But I have 3 volumes of Inuyashiki. Okay, Inuyashiki, I haven't actually started it. All I know is that it's done by the same author of Gantz. It's very much of that seinen feel. Some mature topics are gonna go into this, and I know it has to do with some sort of androids or robotics or cyborgs. That's all I know. Okay, next let's talk about Urasawa, Asadora. This is a series that I know a lot of us are reading and collecting right now. I have 2 volumes. I haven't started reading it, so I can't talk about it much, but I am a huge fan of Naoki Urasawa, and this has been on my radar forever. So once I get the 3rd volume, I will read it, and I will let you know my thoughts and opinions down below, but let me know yours if you've been reading this one, okay? I know a lot of us like it, so I'm assuming I'm gonna see a lot of people digging Asadora down below in the comments, but let me know. Personally, I can't wait to read Blood on the Tracks. I haven't. I know I have volume 1. I want to have a few more volumes because Shuzo Oshimi is one of those mangakas whose series you can binge read, like seriously binge read. Happiness is the only other series I've read from Oshimi, and I binge read that so quickly. So I'm gonna acquire a few more volumes before I start reading Blood on the Tracks. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this series down below. I am very much looking forward to starting it, and I'll keep you guys updated, whether it be in hauls or vlogs or over on Twitter. Next is Horimiya. I feel like I've gone over this series a lot on my channel, so we're not gonna spend so much time with this one, but I really enjoyed this series. Yeah, I have volume 1 in Ichijo. I haven't started, I haven't watched the anime, but it's on my list to read. And the last volume for the video is Shaman King, the omnibus here. Now, I'm actually an omnibus or 2 behind for Shaman King. This is one of those nostalgia series like Yu Hakusho that we were talking before, where it's one of those older shonen series that I have a personal connection with. However, I do think a lot of you, if you haven't checked this out, would enjoy this series. This concludes our first part of the video. In part 2, I will show you a full room tour of what I'm building out here, and I will also have a new collection with new bookshelves and a whole new setup and a bunch of surprises to show you guys. Now, before I let you guys go, I want to encourage you guys to join the Discord. The community over there is absolutely amazing. They've been helping me answer some questions about building my new setup over there, and it's been rapidly growing, to be frank with you guys. It's just been a wonderful new home for us over on Discord. So if you're looking to maybe make some new friends or just hanging out with the community here, go ahead and join. Of course, it'll be at discord.gg/BoogieSnacks, or of course, links will be down below, okay? I'm also streaming a lot over on Twitch these days, so if you want to catch one of the streams where we're going rare manga hunting, manga shopping, interviewing new manga publishing companies, or gaming, or just overall hanging out, cooking streams, IRL streams, we're doing a lot over on Twitch. So if you want to come watch, of course, be twitch.tv/BoogieSnacksTV, or of course, links down below. All right, but I think our job is done here for today. I will see you in part 2 of the video, where we're going to go over my entire room here, my anime room tour, and my new manga collection. There will be a few videos that come out before part 2, I will admit that, but I will see you over in part 2. But I'm gonna let you guys go here, okay? So if you'd like to go ahead and support the channel, go ahead and mash that like button down below. It lets me know that you're watching at home, and I can continue to make more content just like this. And of course, as always, nothing has changed. If you'd like to stick around for more videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you in the community. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in part 2. I cannot wait to show you my new setup. I will see you in the next one. Have a good night.